feel like Socke has done a fantastic job of keeping Demuslim completely off balance and specifically getting a huge economic lead over him, really denying the mules, and this is really what's hugely hurting Demuslim. This is, and it looks like he's supply capped at the moment, even though he does have a planetary fortress here, and yes, that provides some additional, and a second planetary fortress. That is incredible. Wow, huge. He's being denied mules just because he's having to build these, because he hasn't had map control, he hasn't had the large army, he hasn't had the large positional advantage he really wanted to as a big Terran ball at this stage of the match. And it looks like a probe wandering forward just to get landed. So long pylon that was planning to be built. Nice little scout, and another pylon, and I almost feel like that's a fake out pylon to distract away from the 12 o'clock position and also buy some time. A little bit of the scouting marauder, and it looks like a warp pits suicided across. And now the drop coming in the back of the base. Nice timing by Demuslim. Looks like he is going to be able to get a gateway as a result. Some more Psystorm though. The Ghost's able to pick up, so nice palm set, able to pick off, but wow, that's a lot of Psystorm, not quite needed, one or two more, and there's that second one. You can see all the units just getting picked off, and complaining a little bit here that he is pinned back and cannot move because of Socke's relentless positional attacking here. And it looks like the Ghosts, once again, out of energy. One of them might get picked off. It looks like it should be able to get into the warm embrace of a planetary focus though. That Stalker is just asking to die here. More high Templar moving forward though. Let's good EMP though, and that was a lot of gas cost from that EMP. Wow, the medevac's getting just target fired out of there though. So the Marauders sitting underneath, killing a ton of Stalkers. And it looks like the Ghost is going to town as well, but it looks like there's a counterattack in the meantime going on at the 6 o'clock, which Demuslim cannot afford. Fortunately, he does have this planetary fortress, so this isn't going to get a lot accomplished without Psystorm. So nice Psystorm, killing a couple more units here. And Demuslim once again kind of pinned back a little bit, needs to worry, has to come to the 6 o'clock to deal with this spray. Right now, I worry about Socks. Yeah, he needs to get a much larger, he's got 80 harvesters, so you can kind of do the math. He's got 30 units out there, and you can compare that to the 55 harvesters, so you essentially have an army composition of a much larger army composition is what I'm trying to get out here for Demuslim comparatively. Still the two Marauders hanging back here. I missed a little bit of fighting in the interim attacks that were happening in the middle of the map, but looks like another attack force moving forward here, perhaps to do some ninja storms. Drop the 12 o'clock, going to deny the 1 o'clock position. Maybe get some probes. Looks like there is a cannon position as well as another Stargate, and I missed this, a fleet beacon, so we're going to see carriers being produced. Another attack here at the 6 o'clock. I missed some nice Psystorm while that attack was happening at 12 o'clock. Actually, it looks like the probes, the SCVs just backed off, and that planetary fortress is going to destroy everything in the meantime. Some latent, still able to get a couple SCVs with that attack. Just getting killed otherwise, but this is pinning the Muslim back, forcing him from continuing the attacks across the middle, and specifically is this allowing Socke to feel like he's comfortable enough to take that gold expansion while he produces a couple carriers. And really I'm not, well, okay, he's going to go carriers. I guess he's going to try to force the Muslim to try to go Valkyries, Vikings. Looks like a Templar spotted position. I like these really pretty latent pylons just out in the field at proxy locations to just warp units in here and be annoying. High Templar EMP'd, so it gets taken out, but that's still food for thought for Demuslim. He's having a lot of trouble finding position, just kind of places where he can go through, expose, and poke at Socke. Socke has a very nice economy in the meantime. So here's another pylon that's kind of out of the forward position. There's another one with the high ground, the High Templar. I just love it. Still these, looks like these Marauders just in a standoff. They're just staring at those Zealots. You're like, okay, maybe we'll do something eventually. Comparatively. 1 o'clock position, Socke is getting his economy absolutely rolling. Surprisingly, though, it looks like the Muslim is still keeping even. I think that mostly is due to the recent mule count. Yeah, we do have 2 mules out in the field, and keep in mind, 1 orbital command is not going to get it done. And so this 6 o'clock base really needs to be an orbital command for the Muslim to keep in the economic game. And looks like some heavy down, getting an EMP. Observer right there, and I think he did manage to get some feedback off on a couple of those units. Pushing up once again, let's see if he can do, again, kind of a high ground attack, and this is really threatening Socks. He needs to engage. It's threatening the gold expansion, so he can cycle back down, and I don't see a very large attack army for Socke. I'm not even sure what his army composition is here because he was going carriers. He's kind of in that transition position where this is the problem I feel like with the carriers in StarCraft 2 is you have carriers out, and it still takes the massive tech switch and the time for that tech switch. I don't know why Demuslim decided to back out. He does have a drop going here at the 1 o'clock, but it still takes that tech switch, but I don't feel like they have the same power, the rain of death that they did in StarCraft 1. So I almost feel like they're not as solid an investment. I almost feel like Void Rays are better across the board, especially with the speed upgrade. So it looks like cutting the Muslim attack force is going to be Well, see, the medevacs get kicked off once again. I love how Socke, every single time, has focus fired the medevacs in the field, but this is really the confusing part for here for me. Demuslim actually holding position instead of being aggressive across that gold mineral. Perhaps he doesn't actually know it's in position. No, he knows it's there. Instead of feeling like he needs to play a little bit more defensive and hold this 6 o'clock base, because again, he needs the economy, because he's been starting out most of this up to most of this point. The carrier is now being focused, but that'll be a lot of range. This is open field, nice EMP from the Ghost as well. The Marauders running forward, but unfortunately, I do like how they shoot out. It's like the missiles. But again, you can see the carrier just not terribly effective. The one thing, if you want to comment, come on graphics, sorry, there we go. The one thing I do want to comment is the Muslim has been right on top of the weapons upgrade. He's level 3 weapons, level 1 armor. You can see on the opposite side, level 2 weapons, but still no armor otherwise. And once you have a big ball like that that has is very heavily upgraded, looks like we lost those Marauders in an interim attack somewhere there. And once you have a big, heavily upgraded infantry like that, they are extremely potent. And despite the fact that the Muslim is basically being starved out for resources here and there, this army is going to carry them far just because it is so durable and can unleash so much damage. It looks like he's going to press forward. He does have, after just, I guess, a gut instinct, after seeing a couple of these carries on the field, deciding to produce a couple of Vikings. Let's get the Vikings. They might get taken out. Just kind of heads up on the field. Some EMPs everywhere. Big engagement. Oh my goodness, Storm. Wow. And there is just a charred mass of Marines left underneath that, but there's still enough Marauders to continue to press forward. The Muslim getting a little bit too aggressive in my opinion. Some boats actually deciding to press forward in that as well. Which actually might be a little bit beneficial because you see 98 boats there for Socke, a little bit overcosted. Now the Muslim is in high risk for losing his entire army. He cannot execute another Stimpack. Needs to flee up to the planetary fortress. Looks like now that he has some medevacs, might be able to execute it once again. But it looks like Socke trying to press it to his advantage, losing a lot of his stalkers, did not have a lot of troops, getting another nice Storm off. And there we go. Looks like the 6 o'clock position. There are turrets there, and I don't even think these carriers are going to be able to press through these turrets and damage that they can. Just 4 turrets, and then you're set against 4 carriers apparently. Again, I'm not sure that they're the best investment. Perhaps a little bit of a BM maneuver for Socke, and I'm sure some Protoss players can correct me. And I don't know. I still feel like they're a better investment, but I don't play Protoss all that often. Looks like we are seeing a Colossus being fielded in the meantime, as well as the upgrades coming out to just punish that heavy infantry composition. Kind of switching it up now that he has more or less almost every base on the field except for this middle gold mineral, controlling essentially 2/3 of the map. The Muslim wandering up, but he really beautiful positioning by Socke, just threatening the 6 o'clock, making sure that the Muslim can't sneak up there. That outcome barely dodging an EMP, which has been absolutely Templar was not able to dodge an EMP. Neither were these carriers. And the Marines gonna be able to run up and just see, oh wow, beautiful explosions. But carriers with more Storm, and wow, army completely melting once again underneath all that Storm, and just the whole position rings really doing devastation for those carriers. Really not being off for Socke at large, but in the meantime, a port prison has landed at the 3 o'clock position. While all that was happening, the Muslim trying to back up his army here. It's going to take a while to get here, but he's got troops all over his main, and this hurts. He was starving for resources as it were. Come on, graphics, there we go. He was starving for resources as it was. He was really isolated to the 6 o'clock base. Looks like he's going to try to land in the 6 o'clock position. That is the one advantage that carriers will bring. But now he's losing a lot of his infrastructure as well, losing the barracks. But again, he has a durable army that can survive the Storm, go a long way, and do a lot of damage. But big Colossus Immortal in their army as well, pressing down the 6 o'clock while the Muslim's trying to clean up his main. And it looks like he's going to lose essentially the territory he could not afford to lose. This is a planetary fortress down there, very difficult to take out. You do need more models to do it. And then Oh, beautiful side storm to push those SCVs off the repair. Looks like a lot of them getting taken out as a result. He's going to climb up to the top. So even though he wasn't able to take out that planetary fortress, he was able to do a lot of SCV damage just through one side storm. The Colossus is going to hang out there, finding the Muslim people to get back the defended 6 o'clock base. And kind of not the best engagement there on the ramp. You should be able to push up on the trail and clean up everything here. But once again, having his economy hampered, you can see the huge incoming gas basically intake of Socke versus the Muslim. He's at a huge advantage in that regard. Looks like army size just about even. Maybe that'll change because of the carrier influx, but also the Muslim's base burning and falling apart behind him. Looks like he actually lifted off, I think he lifted off his command center main to plant this one here, and the 6 o'clock base, I really don't like that choice of planetary fortress. He really did need an orbital command there, but I guess it paid off because in just pure defense, producing some additional barracks, some additional medevacs pressing forward. Looks like a Marine is going to check out that orbital command center and kind of get a good look at the army composition across from him. This is a very winnable battle, but it looks like the Muslim actually backing off. Another nice EMP catching all of the high Templar. Once again, the carrier's trying to do some damage from up above, and the Colossus completely exposed and going to get wiped out, just jogging down the corner. I'm sure he's like, oh hey, he's taking a stroll through the air, getting shot to death. That's what bullets do, they shoot you to death. This basics mined out, looks like natural expansion mostly mined out, but still 12 o'clock running hard in this. Gold base still mining pretty well, but otherwise Socke actually looking a little bit touchy economically. So if the Muslim can hold on to this 6 o'clock kind of location, he'll be in pretty good position. In the meantime, Socke going for a complete end around, leaving this gold expansion very exposed, pushing in at the main. It looks like the Muslim is going to actually press forward, and I almost think the Muslim might be better off just kind of taking what he has on out the field and attacking the main of Socke, but it looks like he can engage this army instead. Catch a lot of it as it's split up, though. Some more nice side storms running headlong with Colossus, 2 Archons wandering up, not getting a lot of them, just almost instantly pop. It looks like the Colossus completely distracted, attacking stuff on the main, but it looks like we do have a Colossus that has managed to sneak here and take out some more SCVs. The Muslim's going to try to run, catch that position. Let's see if he's able to get there. More Zealots running in and taking out SCVs still here as they're being produced out of this barracks. That's going to get taken down before that Marauder's produced. And SCVs flooding out of position, but it looks like that Colossus only got 6 kills, but still hampering the income, really hurting the income of the Muslim, kind of taking out his forces, putting him in a tough position he's in a bad position. It's going to be difficult to win the game from this stage. High Templar just chilling there, watching their buds die. Now they're going to get shot at too. And they're like, hey, what's up? I don't even know I'm getting shot. I was just so murdered. Probes attacking. It looks like they're going to suicide in here for 6 o'clock as well. Well, as a distractionary force for the Warp Prism, beautifully played by Socke. And it looks like Marines being gathered up the central location to do kind of another attack and kind of gathering up. Oh, there's the Side Storms going across. Looks like got a couple SCVs, not a ton. And yeah, now it's going to be a big pincer attack to just kill the Red Army. Almost Napoleonic here, pushing up, catching a lot of those medevacs there, and all the Side Storms doing so much damage. And it looks like that army is going to get obliterated. Just a handful of Marauders left that the Muslim cannot afford, or even, I don't even know, well, he does have a couple barracks on the field, but he's not producing out of a lot of infrastructure at this stage. Now it looks like that orbital command center lifted off, just going to hang out here. That was from the 6 o'clock location. Armies waiting to work in once again. Planetary fortress is there, but the Muslim can't afford to really repair it. He's only got 300 miles to repair, period. Needs to mine just so he has an economy to repair with. So he's in a very desperate situation. Looks like he's just going to try to use what he can with the 2 Marauders he has. Still able to pick off Still able to pick off a Colossus. You gotta admit, flawless observer. Mostly flawless. I won't say flawless. There's the GG from the Muslim. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A really wild game, up and down. Hopefully the audio was better this time for you. Again, if you go to reddit/r/SE2 replays, submit your replays there through ReplayFoo, a great site to do it. People upvote, downvote. I'll most likely commentate them. Also keep an eye. I think it's on Machinima or Machinima Respawn. I'll link it to here. I'm gonna do some stuff there. Keep an eye, and also keep an eye on Vile Attack because we've been doing stuff there. Moletrap also doing StarCraft 2, Ranch and Nuke. I'll give a bunch of shoutouts. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it.